Title 56 or title 55. It really is quite that simple. Welcome back, guys, to the channel. It is your Scottish Premiership 2024-25 predictions. Now, if anyone's intrigued or wants to know the Champions League, European and Cup predictions, I'll do that in a later vid. I feel like it's better to split it all up rather than, what are doing the Scottish Premiership predictions by me talking about European and Cup aspirations. So we'll save that for a vid, potentially a stream at a later date. But as you have to begin here, it's 12th spot to first. Is tier list the best way of doing it? Maybe not, but you know what? We're here for the banter. We're not here for the professionalism, so to speak. But there's a lot of talk, there's a lot of hype, where people would put Rangers finishing this year, where people would put Celtic, and there is, of course, 10 other teams in this league. And we're going to start off in 12th spot because I know a lot of people are going to just be tuning in for the second and first spot. And I made a promise at the end of last season. I said, unless Rangers drastically improved in the transfer window, got rid of the right players, brought the right players in, and showed me something in pre-season, then I wouldn't be putting them first. Did they do enough in pre-season in the window so far? You'll have to wait and see until I pick second and first. But in terms of 12, it's St Johnstone. Reason for St Johnstone 12, I think they've outstayed their welcome the past couple of years. I think they've just been really poor. I think the fact they stayed up last season was more down to Livingston being worse than them than the other way about. They've nosedived since the Cup double, which is to be expected. They're not supposed to do Cup doubles every season. Hell, it seems like there's only one team that can do that in Scottish football, and it shouldn't be St Johnstone, but here, I all know about crashing down for that 2020-21 season. Rangers have done the same. As for St Johnstone, they've scraped relegation playoffs, they've scraped 10ths, they've scraped 11ths. I think this is the year they finally go down, and Craig Levein, 460, whatever you want to call him, I think he'll be sacked relatively soon, but I don't even think that will save them. So we're going to put St Johnstone in at the 12th spot. Up next, 11th spot, another team that's just gash, and that is Ross County. More of the same, pretty much. Their team has got weaker from last season. They've lost Behanda, they've lost a few other players, but I just think they will sneak 11th spot against St Johnstone. But what I would say, I wouldn't bet money on Ross County surviving the relegation playoff this time round. I look at the Championship, it looks as competitive as it's ever been, and regardless of who you think is going to finish second, third and fourth in the Championship, I think this season, whoever wins the playoff in the Championship will knock out the 11th spot team. Whether it's Ross County or not, I don't know, but yeah, I think it would have suited like an Airdrie more to get into the playoff last season than a Raith. I think Raith just kind of ran their race. They ran out of steam, so to speak, at the end. Anyway, 10th spot, we've got newly promoted Dundee United. Some people I've seen put them as high as 3rd. Some people I've seen put them as low as 12th. I'm putting them not somewhere in the middle because that would be more like 7th or something. I think 10th would be a decent return for Dundee United. For the simple reason is, I just don't really rate them. And I don't rate Jim Goodwin. The club, the stature of them, I think they've got good players. I think they should be finishing higher. But they didn't get rid of Jim Goodwin after he took them down. After a pretty mediocre Championship campaign and a pretty poor start to the season, where they've scraped through the Premier Sports Cup, I think they'll just stick with him no matter what. And I don't think they'll be down in 12th long enough to warrant a sacking. I think they'll just hover around 8th to 11th. He'll see it the season and maybe he'll get sacked at the end or move on. I don't know. But I think they'll stay up. I'd be shocked kind of if they went down. So Dundee United go into 10th. Up 9th place, we've got Motherwell. Just a weird club. Motherwell, you've lost Theo Bear, of course, for over $1 million. Stevie O'Donnell is pretty much their star player. I watched them in the flesh this season. They were shite, but they've got enough about them to finish 9th. Stuart Kettlewell's a decent manager. They either start strong or end strong, and that is almost enough in this league to keep you up, and I think that's what's going to happen with Motherwell. 8th place, we have got Hibs. I don't rate Davy Gray. Some people may say that sounds a wee bit bitter, still from 2016. He's literally been given the job because Hibs have tried every other option, and they're like, you know what, how about we just give a club legend the job and see how it goes. I don't rate Hibs. I don't think they've signed well. They should easily be in the top 5 in this league, but they're going to be in the bottom 5 of this league. That's my prediction. I just don't rate them. Martin Boyle getting older, and I just think their signings have been poor. I mean, Davy Marshall, he's away. Obviously, just a lot of Will Fish is left, and he's skilled Rangers at Murrayfield for United. I think they'll finish 8th, hands down. Up next, 7th spot. Who will not make the split? I'm going to go with Dundee. I think Dundee, very good. I don't think they were great last season. Tony Docherty, great job. They've not really lost a lot of key players. They've recruited decent enough. They've performed well in the Premier Sports Cup so far. I think there's only one reason they'll slip in to the bottom 6, and that's because I expect Aberdeen to do a wee bit better than what they did last season. 6th spot, got St Mirren. A lot of people will be like, oh, St Mirren will do worse because of European football. Realistically, St Mirren won't get to the group stages, and I don't think a slow start in August should warrant them, crashing down. I just think Stephen Robinson, he could get poached mid-season. That could affect them. I mean, they've recruited all right. Sean Rooney coming in, players like that. Didn't exactly impress against Valur. Maybe they can do a bit more at home. But I look at the top 6 in this list, and it's like, yeah, St Mirren should be finishing 6th. They've got no real reason to compete with the top 5 when you look at their team on paper. And I think it'll be a distant 6th. I think it'll be the 6th where, not last season, the season before, where they managed to get into it but then didn't do much with it. So we're going to put St Mirren in at 6th, which leaves the top 5 here. The top 5. Only 4 of these 5 will be competing in Europe. Aberdeen, obviously, a pretty poor season. Jimmy Thielen, not exactly the greatest start, I would say. I mean, they're through. That's all that really matters, but I think they've played pretty poor in most of the games. Miovski could be away, and if he goes, I mean, your 5th spot could decrease, obviously, because they're not going to be able to replace him. They could get a lot of money to replace him, but will they correctly replace him? Probably not. I think 5th's a bit fair for Aberdeen. That's where we're going to put Aberdeen. 5th spot. There's no excuse for a club the size of Aberdeen not being 5th. For me, they should be 3rd. Minimum 4th. When Rangers went down the leagues, that's when they stepped up, albeit, yes, they didn't exactly, win leagues for Celtic and, win a shit ton of cups, but they cemented themselves as the second best, and how have they managed to let that go? Well, I mean, obviously, they've let second go because of Rangers, but with Hibs and Hearts yo-yoing between leagues for a few years and not being that good, Aberdeen, man, they should. There's no excuse for what's happened to Aberdeen, really. And they've sold well. They've sold some of their best players well. We're not talking about a club that's let players leave on frees, etc., etc. There's no excuse for what Aberdeen have done. 4th spot, we are going to go with Kelly. I looked at this. Hearts have had a really bad pre-season. Kelly have had a decent enough pre-season and a good draw against Cercle Bruges. I do fancy Kelly to get some form of European group stage, but over the course of this season, I just think Lawrence Shanklin should fire Hearts to 3rd spot over Kelly. So we're going to put Kelly in 4th. Pretty set. I mean, they've not lost anyone. They've recruited Robbie McCrory, and among others, got some really good players. McKenzie's a great manager. There's no real evidence that supports them finishing any lower than this. I mean, if Aberdeen turn up, Aberdeen have obviously got better players. If Aberdeen play good football and don't underperform like they have in recent years, they can absolutely get. I think Aberdeen could finish 3rd. But Jimmy Thielen, it's an unknown. We don't know how that's going to go down. As for Kelly, it is a known that they're good. Derek McKenzie didn't take him long getting that team firing, so we're going to put him 4th. Now, obviously, 3rd spot, I've kind of gave it away. A lot of talk about could Hearts beat Rangers. They could, but I don't think they will. So I'm going to put them in at 3rd. I think they'll have a good season, Hearts. I think they need to do more, though, than just finishing 3rd. I think with Hearts, they need to start doing well in the cups, winning cups, and closing that gap a bit further. I think the gap was about, what did it finish with? 20, 18 points last season. There was some parts, not too many match days to go. Can Hearts win the league? Sort of talk was emerging. Well, can Hearts win the league as we sit here on the 31st of July 2024? No, but can they give it a good chance? Is this the chance to try and get rid of Rangers for that top 2? Yeah, because Rangers are not in a good place right now. Celtic haven't exactly recruited well in this transfer window, and considering how bad they played last season, they haven't really upgraded on that. Is this the chance for a team outside the Old Firm to finally do something? I would say so, but then you look at Celtic pre-season form, really good. Scudding City and Chelsea. Hearts pre-season form, getting scudded by Fleetwood. And that leaves us with the top 2. Right? Every year I've done this, I've put Rangers 1st. We're not going to do a drum roll. we're not going to do anything, alright? Because Rangers are not going to finish first, they're going to finish second. Prove me wrong. As Chris Benoit used to say, prove me wrong. Now, if you don't know who Chris Benoit is, a quick Google search would quickly figure that out for yourself. But Rangers are going to finish second. If Rangers finish first, I think it would be pretty much near a miracle. And yeah, some people can cry about it, some people can bitch and say, you're not a real Rangers fan, you're putting Celtic first, yada yada yada. No, it's called having a fucking brain. If you think this Rangers team can legit win this league, you need your head looked at. I'm going to go as far, it may sound pretty extreme, but that may lose subs, that may get me hate in the comments, but I think there's no fucking hope. The window has been awful, pre-season's been even worse than the window. Yeah, today we're linked with Robin Proper, looks like a decent centre-half, but the problem is we need another centre-half, where we ideally need about 2 right-backs, we ideally need about 10 midfielders, we need about 5 more wingers, we need 2 goal scorers, we need pretty much every position in this pitch to be upgraded, and for whatever reason, it's not happening. If I was sitting here with a Miovski or Shankland up front, and say we had another Robin Proper was in the door, and you could guarantee Yilmaz wouldn't get injured this season, and Tavernier would be away, and we sign a proper right back, and it's all if buts maybes. Even if we had one of our best transfer windows to date, right, I would still sit here and be like, it's going to be close. We've done nothing of the kind, man. We've lost a lot of experienced heads. Yeah, a lot of them have been failures. But I haven't liked the recruitment, and a lot of the recruitment we've brought in is either not good enough to start yet, or just like mediocre. I think there's a few good players for Rangers. Connor Barron. I think Liam Kelly looks good, but again, what can Liam Kelly really do if he's the second goalkeeper? He can't do much. Tierney looks like a good loan from Wolfsburg. Cortez, I'm good to see him back. Up front though, we need Danilo to kick on. We need Shankland. We need Miovski. We need someone. We see Espanyol have a 3 million bid rejected. We hear Hearts want 5. Rangers put a bid in for a striker. Get Robin Proper in. Sell some more dead weight. And maybe, if we can turn this a window around and have a good start to the season, maybe at the end of August I'll be more confident, but I just don't see it, man. I don't. And Celtic haven't even needed to sign anybody for me to be putting them first. I wish I could sit here and say, yeah, Rangers first with my chest out, but it's not like that. Ever since I've started doing this, even, I don't know what it is, even in the years under Warburton, you've got Barton, people like that, those years, Senderos, even those teams I put first, but see this, it's just years of continued failure that's made me think there's no chance. It's like yesterday when you're talking about Connor Goldson leaving, and a lot of people have talked about it. This is probably the worst centre-back you've seen at the club in his tenure, which means we are back to pre-Gerrard levels, which we've been saying that pretty much since last year, since Beale gets sacked. It's second place. As for Celtic in first place, yeah, they should win the league. Even if they don't sign anyone, they should win the league. The only thing I think we can hope for is if they sit still like they have done already, and somehow the players that we've brought in and are set to bring in hit the ground and turn into world beaters overnight. It would be a minor miracle, but I welcome minor miracles. And that is it for the Scottish Premiership 2024-25 predictions. I pray to fucking God when we sit here next year that I've got none of these right, because if that means I've got none of these right, that means the top 2 can't be right, and that means maybe Hearts have won the league instead of Rangers, actually. I mean, I guess that could still happen, but nah, I don't think that's going to happen. But I hope I sit here with 0 out of 12 right next year. Or at the bare minimum, 10 out of 12 right, and that means there's still room for the top 2 of that. I can't see it, and I think most people in my comments can't see it. Yeah, is it negative? I think it's reality. If the reality of the football club is negative, then I can't help that. That's for the club to turn around and Clement to sort out with his players and his scouting and all that shite. But yeah, tomorrow, Friday, whatever, we will have Premier Sports Cup, Champions League, Europa League and Scottish Cup. But to be fair, if I'm doing a Europa League prediction, that kind of tells you what I think's going to happen with the Champions League. But anyway, there you go. Till next time. Peace.